Good morning and good afternoon, and welcome to this week's Lenten Reflection. My name is Jim Boyd, and I'm an associate of the congregation, coming to you from my home in Chicago. I'd like to share a couple images that have stuck with me during Lent and that are highlighted in this week's Gospels leading up to Holy Week. In the first image, crowd scenes are beginning to gather, some to confront Jesus, some to exalt him, and others to condemn him. And in the last year, we have certainly been witness to, and maybe even participants in, some of the most powerful and unforgettable crowd scenes and crime scenes in recent history. People have gathered and rallied and marched to protest, to show support, to demand change, to wreak havoc, and sometimes just to stand by and watch. And we've seen both the positive and negative impact these crowd scenes can have. We've seen looting and burning out of anger and frustration. We've seen singing and clanging of pots and pans at 7 p.m. in the evening to give support to frontline workers. We've watched victims and activists call for change in the Black Lives Matter movement. And here in Chicago, in the Save Mercy Hospital campaign. And we've also witnessed insurrection and violence incited by alternate truths. In the next couple days, the Gospels tell us of a crowd of Jews wanting to stone Jesus and arrest him for blasphemy. We hear about Pharisees gathering and feeling threatened by Jesus and wanting him killed. On Palm Sunday, we see crowds of jubilant people welcoming Jesus with hosannas. Next week, a crowd will gather outside Pilate's house to condemn Jesus. And on Friday, groups of people will gather along the way of the cross to watch Jesus pass by. So all of this makes me think, what crowd scenes have I been in? Who am I with? Why am I there? And what do I stand for? I don't think Jesus wanted admirers or tag-alongs. Jesus wanted disciples. He wanted followers who would witness to what they've seen and heard, who preach the good news, who invite and gather people together in community, who put it out on the line, who are bold, courageous, and speak truth to power. In today's gospel, we hear the bottom line of discipleship. St. John writes, Jesus said to those Jews who believe in him, "If you remain in my word, you will truly be my disciples, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." And this brings me to the second image I'd like to share, that of moving from darkness into light. I recently read a sermon given by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in June 1963, entitled "A Knock at Midnight." It's based on St. Luke's Gospel in the 11th chapter, telling the story of a stranger knocking on a person's door in the middle of the night, asking for 3 loaves of bread to share with a friend who had come to visit. The person behind the door is put out, turns the stranger away. But the stranger persists, and the door is eventually open. Dr. King said that it is also midnight in our world, and the darkness is so deep that we can hardly see which way to turn. He said that we're facing midnight in the social order, in the psychological order, and in the moral order, and that people are longing for the 3 loaves of bread in faith, hope, and love. These words could not be more true than today than they were 50 years ago, as we still face racism, the pandemic, suppression, and injustices knocking at our door in the darkness. But Dr. King concludes this sermon telling us that the midnight traveler who asks for bread is really seeking the dawn, looking for the light and the hope of a brighter day. And so this is what I'm carrying in my heart as I head toward Holy Week and Easter. And my prayer is the refrain of a song that my children sang every carol and light service when they were students at St. Francis Xavier School. I want to walk as a child of the light. I want to walk with Jesus. In him there is no darkness at all. The night and the day are both alike. The Lamb is the light of the city of God. Shine in my heart, Lord Jesus. So as Holy Week approaches, let's ask ourselves, what kind of disciple do we want to be? What truths do we want to speak to? And what darkness do we want to move closer to the light? Thank you for joining me today, and I wish everyone a blessed Holy Week and joyous Easter season. Thank you.